Welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this, my friends, is the Thunder Show, aka the internet's most passionate wine program. Tune in Thursday night for my debut. That was opening day, man. That's what that was. My debut of Wine and Web, and I'm excited about it. Please be there. I'm also excited about up-and-coming, nerdy, cool, trendy, hipster wines, and that's what I have in front of me here today. 3 wines, Pinot Noirs from California, 2 from the same producer, Kosuge, and 1 from Bedrock. And I've been hearing great things about these wines. This is my first try at them, a little more opening day kind of situation, and I'm excited about it. So let's get into the first wine, and this is the Kosuge Manchester Ridge 2007 Mendocino Pinot Noir. Only 240 cases made. The vineyards are in Mendocino, really close to Anderson Valley, in between. And I'm excited about this. 36 bones, 90 points, Josh Reynolds. So some nice scores. And let's see what we can find here. Great color, big ass glass, sniffy sniff. Get some nice kind of burnt cherry flavor, kind of like a burnt out like hot rod. Like hot rod. Come on, did they use that term back in the day when you did street racing? That's a hot rod? Not really, they did.
Yeah, back when we were driving the Model Ts. Yeah.
They were called, when you and Henry Ford were discussing, like, what should we do with these horses? Kind of like burnt out tire meets a little bit of like a cherry play. Little creaminess on here as well. Quite pretty. Let's give it a whirl. Nice meatiness to this wine. Good body. Really like the minerality that I'm getting in the mid palate. It's a beautiful transition from this upfront red fruit minerality, and I almost get like a bacon bits meets a little bit of like those white cherries, Mott. You know what I mean? They're like not red. They're like white. They're like yellowish.
Yellow,
yeah. I get a little bit of that kind of flavor going on. I don't know the official terminology of those cherries. The alcohol's a little spiky for me. And I'm not talking about like Spike Lee. By the way, big shout out to Spike Lee to go to Indiana for Game 6. Back in was it '94? Yeah, he was awesome for doing that. I love that. I just always want to give him a shout out for that. 14.5 alcohol, and I feel like it's a little more elevated than that. So I'm a little bit concerned about the balance of this wine. It's acting extremely young. It is an 07, and we're being a little bit premature. It's really like me looking at my beautiful 14-month-old daughter, 15-month-old daughter, Misha, and saying, okay, you're going to be an astronaut. I mean, it's a little early. So this wine definitely needs 3 to 5 years of cellaring easy. If you want to approach it then decanting, the alcohol is spiking. The components are there. Once again, making a sports reference, it's kind of like when Bill Parcells says, if you want me to cook the dish, I want to buy the ingredients. Back to his struggles with the Patriots when he wanted a GM. I feel like the ingredients are here, and it's just a little early. Just a little early. Just a little early. Good wine, great components, a little bombastic, a little too over the top. A little too over the top for me for Pinot Noir. I'm going to go 88 points on this. Solid, lovely, probably not worth 36 bones in my book, but everybody has their own palate. Try your own. If you see it, you don't be scared of it because it is a very well-made wine. And see if you think it's any different, any better, any worse, let me know. So let's move on. A little rinse. Rinsey dints. I'm going to split up these wines, the Kosuge wines, and we're going to go with Bedrock Wine Company, Rebecca's Vineyard, 2008. Only 189 cases made, only 9 barrels. Excuse me, this wine comes from DRC clone fruit, fermented in native yeasts, as it says in the back here, and 55% of it is new oak from artisanal Burgundian cooperage. So pretty serious Burgundy play on this wine. This is from Russian River, the Burgundy of California. Comes from DRC, that's Domaine Romani Conti, the most iconic Burgundy producer. $1,000 bottles of wine, hundreds and hundreds of dollars per bottle. And they're going with Burgundian cooperage, so it's a very Burgundian play. Let's see if it acts Burgundian while still having the beauty and spark and pizzazz of California wine. Now, Mott, this is bkosugewines.com, and this is bedrockwineco.com. You take a look at those. Let's link those up, because if any of these are acting well, these are very small productions, and economy's a little soft now, but as it rises, these are the kind of mailing lists you Vaynerchuk should be on. Just should be on the list. Don't necessarily have to buy, but get on there. So this is a great attack right off the bat. I love the nose. Getting this really interesting kind of slight tobacco leaf, a little spiciness, beautiful strawberries. God, this smells like a tobacco leaf. But not like this is not like the normal tobacco flavor you have. There was an old man that lived in Edison, New Jersey when I was growing up that smoked like cheap, weird cigar, and it smells like this. But it's not a tobacco smell. I don't know how to really put that. It's like a flavored tobacco thing. A little licorice-y kind of component. Let's give it a whirl. First and foremost, this wine is dramatically more reserved than the prior wine. It's not as over the top. It's not as hedonistic. And there's a tremendous balance play here. All of a sudden, I'm getting dark fruit. I really enjoy this lovely blueberry component that is bouncing around on my palate right now. It's also quite silky and expands throughout the palate quite nicely. This wine is making me think. It's about as quiet as I've been on this show ever. I like this wine. It's really, really well done. It's also extremely young. It's a 2008 and is acting less young than the 07 that we just had. In comparison, I think it's just more balanced and really quite elegant. I also get a little bit of like a fatty kind of animal fat component flavor on the mid palate, which I like quite a bit. You know, it's not foie gras. It's not. It just feels like gamey, but it's not gamey. More of like a fat kind of thing, almost like the kind of like texture and flavor conceptually that you'd want to have in a really good stew or soup, if that makes any sense. I'm thinking bone marrow. You know, those kind of really exotic food flavors. This wine's actually making me hungry. I like it. I like the sour cherries that this finishes with. I think this is a very well-made wine. I'm going to score 92 points. And at 42 bones, it's right there. But it's quite complex. I prefer the little bit of spicy pepper on the third quarter to finish flavoring. I think this is real worthwhile. So definitely Bedrock Wine Co. I guess Bedrock Wine Company .com is worth seeking out. It should be sought out. You should join the mailing list. Very, very good wine. And if you ever see it on a mailing list, on a restaurant list, or in a retail store, you should try to pick it up. I enjoy that quite a bit. And finally, Bikosugi, The Shop, 2007 Carneros Pinot Noir. The Shop is named after the farm equipment workshop located next to the vineyard in honor of the hands-on work of growing wine grapes and the people who do it. 32 bones, 91 points. Josh Reynolds, nice price point for kind of a culty, small production. 500 cases is nothing. Ooh, I like this nose. So right off the bat, I'm enjoying this. A little bit more than the first one. There's a little stinkiness to it. A little burnt match. Yeah, a little darkness to this one. Gamey, earthy. Let's give it a whirl. So the Bikosugi wines are going for much bigger, structured, bombastic, thick, hedonistic Pinot Noirs. Almost those Pinot Noirs I always talk about, like, is there a little Syrah in there? Not that bad, but these are concentrated monsters. Inky, where the Bedrock was much more classic Pinot. This is a Pinot Noir style that became very, very popular 5 years ago. It's becoming a little less popular right now. And, you know, I don't know, it's not winning me over. I see Josh Reynolds, who, as you guys know, is a critic I really enjoy and really like. There is a lot of people watching the show right now that will love this wine. You know, again, this is just my palate, and please, and I know you don't take it as gospel. I think it's a little too big. Yeah, it's just a little too big. I like the flavor profile of this wine. I really do. In hindsight, I want to score the Kasugi, sorry SS Chris, 87 points. And the shop, the second wine, 88 plus points. You know, both are really solid wines in the $30 price range, but, you know, not necessarily doing it for me. For me, the Bedrock wins this day. And all in all, I really enjoyed this show. I'm enjoying myself tasting wines of this caliber, and I hope you're exploring as well. So, question of the day: what is the most interesting Pinot Noir you've tasted lately? And you know what? And also, if you've got a second or two, link up its website. Maybe we can all join a couple different mailing lists tonight. You, with a little bit of me, changing the wine world. Hope to see you Thursday.